along with the 4 characteristics of contemplative experience just explored, I would now like to add a final one as a way of concluding this session. The characteristic is that of the utterly ineffable nature of the union moments of contemplative experience disclose. It's a union in which we fleetingly realize that God, we, and the world are eternally one. So I'd like to conclude with a poetic image and reflect on the image. Imagine that there's a child that wants a present very much, but it thinks that the present is too much to hope for. The child's mother, knowing how much the child wants the present, gets it. And the day that she's to give him the present, she can hardly wait, because in her love for the child, she can hardly wait to see the delight in his eyes when he realizes that the present, too good to hope for, has been given. Handing the child the present, she watches the child unwrap the present, take the lid off the box, and in the moment the child sees that the present, too good to hope for, has been given, the moment its face lights up, we can say this about the mother: she's not there. She's lost in the child's face. Love does it to her. And yet, when she reflects back on this moment, she does not reflect back on it as a moment of loss, but as a moment of pure gain. It is as if a curtain fleetingly opened, and she was allowed to glimpse what she knows is always true, that only love and all that is given in love is real. Now imagine taking this image as a point of reference, that God, in creating you, hands you a package. And the package that God hands you is your life. And it takes you 96 years to open the package. And the moment of your death will be the moment that you will see for yourself what you were given when you were given you, and what you were given when you were given the life that you're living. And in this kind of devotional imagery that we're using here, God can hardly wait. And in the moment the lid comes off the box, that is the moment you see for yourself that what was given to you in being given your life is very God, that God is the infinite love that infinitely gives all that she is in and as who we simply are. And unable to even begin to grasp it, we look up into the face of God, and God's not there. God's lost in our face. Love does it to her. God's lost in our face, lost in her forever. This is the mystery of the kingdom of God. It's the mystery in which God is all in all. From before beginningless beginnings, in this present moment of this present session, and throughout all eternity, God is all in all. There is no God who is in any way whatsoever held back and not given to us utterly and completely as all that we really are. It is this unity that we fleetingly experience in our moments of contemplative awakening. And to taste it, even for a moment, is to experience eternal joy. Meister Eckhart once said, to have one glimpse of God would be to give up the whole world as easily as one would give up peas and lentils, in realizing directly for oneself the absolute nothingness, the absolute poverty of everything, save the infinite love that is our life itself. This, then, is an essential characteristic of the path. It is the unbearable generosity that our life itself manifests. It is the utterly unmanageable love that the smallest details of our life make tangible in the world. We cannot begin to find the words to express it. Our heart breaks when we try, but we know deep within the pit of our stomach that it's true. And this inner truth is that which guides us along the way toward the fulfillment of this truth day by day. It seems to me that so much of the joy that one finds in Merton's writings, and so much of the spontaneity, and so much of the radical freedom that keeps breaking through in his prose and in his poetry and in his life, flows from this deep realization within himself of this union. And in reading it in his writings, it's contagious, and it reminds us of our own moments in which we tasted it too. To come full circle then back to the conclusion of Merton's passage about the cosmic dance, it seems then that these characteristics of contemplative experience, which shed light on the nature of the path that lies ahead, help us to understand just a little bit better what Merton means when he refers to forgetting ourselves on purpose, and what he means when he refers to casting our awful solemnity to the winds. This sad kind of tragic posturing in which we keep rearranging the mask that we wear, pretending to ourselves and to others that we're anything less than who we in these moments of awakening know ourselves to be. It's a call not to be afraid to die to all this pretending, and to all this posturing, and to all this evasion, and to all this clinging to all that torments us. And trusting that as hard as this might be, and as much courage as this takes, for it's life itself that we're talking about, really. We're talking about nothing less than life itself. As arduous as it is, as demanding as it is, as much as it is beyond what we're up to. Knowing and trusting that as we set courageously out on this path, the intimate texture of our own experience will begin to become ever more tangibly the intimate texture of God's love for us. And I think this is the great promise that Merton offers us. It's a promise that he offers to us with a kind of quiet confidence of one who personally knows within the depths of his own experience that it's true.